Hello, my name is Kenneth Williams, and this is my presentation on the debate on the legalization of marijuana. This presentation will address the pros and the cons of both positions and hopefully allow the reader to take an informed position on the debate. As the demands for legalization rapidly increase, detractors state that this will do more harm than good. In 2015, the Pew Research Center conducted a survey that determined 53% of the population in the United States are pro legalization, with 44% of Americans being opposed. Let's take a look and see what the empirical and statistical research says about this partisan issue. Let's take a look at the pros of legalizing marijuana. In order to do this, we must look at the factors that make up the pro argument. That requires looking at the health benefits, the public health benefits, the economic benefits, and the legal benefits. Some of the health benefits of marijuana are: it relieves chronic pains, it improves epileptic seizures, it treats Crohn's disease, anxiety reduction, relieves arthritis, slows the growth of cancer cells, treats glaucoma, treats fibromyalgia, and relieves nausea. Supporters of legalizing marijuana believe the public health benefits are: a decrease in alcohol-related traffic deaths due to less alcohol use, a less tobacco use, as advocates state that marijuana is less harmful than tobacco and alcoholic products. Supporters believe that there will be less crime in legalized states, and tax revenue generated from marijuana can be used to develop public programs. Supporters believe economic benefits are: marijuana will boost the economy through tax revenue, creating more jobs while ending costly marijuana laws that take up police resources and taxpayers' dollars on incarcerations. Legal benefits. Supporters argue that legalizing marijuana will end racially imbalanced policing that affect disproportionate communities, also reducing the legal cost of convictions and incarcerations of marijuana related offenses where the offense did not fit the punishment. The cons of legalizing marijuana will also need to focus on the primary issues that detractors argue are far greater risks than rewards pertaining to legalization. We'll address the impact on mental health and physical health, the impact on public safety, and the impact on the economy. So let's take a look at the impact on mental and physical health. Now, those that do not support the legalization of marijuana state that legalizing it will encourage and ultimately lead not only adults but young teenagers to dependency and addiction. Marijuana impairs the cognitive thinking and motor skills, putting the public at danger. There's a risk of lung cancer. There's irreversible brain damage that can be caused by using marijuana, damage to the central nervous system, loss of short-term memory, and also depression. Ultimately, what again leads to addiction and dependency on marijuana. The impact on public safety. Detractors of legalizing marijuana state that marijuana is a gateway drug. The body will get used to the effects of marijuana and want to find that first high and produce that excess of dopamine, which will ultimately lead to experimentation with other drugs and can develop addiction to other stronger, more dangerous drugs. Teen access. Teens will have more access to marijuana, just as teens have their parents or older adults go and get alcohol. They can in turn also have those same adults go and get marijuana from dispensaries. So teens will have more access, which will ultimately lead to more teen addiction and dependency. Public intoxication, just as alcohol, those that use marijuana will still be intoxicated in public, which will ultimately lead to more DUIs because people will still drive while under the influence of marijuana as they do with alcohol. And so these are some of the public safety risks and concerns that those that detract the legalization of marijuana have. The impact on the economy. Those that are detractors to legalizing marijuana state that legalizing marijuana will be more costly to the economy than beneficial. There will be an increase in emergency room visits for marijuana and also for overdoses to drugs that marijuana has gateway to. There'll be an increased cost for addiction and mental health treatment, the cost of loss of productivity in the workforce, and also the tax revenue generated from legalized states such as Colorado and Washington state only make up 1% of the state's total revenue. So if we look at the pros and the cons of legalizing marijuana, what are the strongest arguments for both sides of this pendulum? The pros, definitely the health benefits of legalizing marijuana. The health benefits of all the conditions that marijuana treats, I believe is very beneficial to the overall general health of those prescribed or using it. The legal benefits of it is also another strong point for those that are pro legalization. Fair policing, the cut in cost and convictions and incarceration for marijuana related crimes. And so I think that those are the two strongest issues when it comes to those that are pro legalization. Now, what are the cons to those that are against legalization? I believe that their strongest points definitely are the mental and physical health, definitely morely the mental health that is caused by marijuana, and also the economy. When we look at the economy making up for states that have legalized marijuana only 1% of the revenue, there's no significant profit margin for legalization. And so I believe that the economy is not severely impacted in a positive way for legalizing marijuana. So as far as the health benefits, I believe that when we go back to the pros, I believe that medical marijuana should be prescribed. I believe that it should be something that can be used as a benefit to those that are in need of it. So I think there's a difference between medical use and recreational use. I think medical use is very, very beneficial. And in that stance, legalizing medical marijuana use is something that me personally I would support. As far as the legal benefits, I believe that there are disproportionate communities that are unfairly policed when it comes to marijuana and crime related convictions and incarcerations when it comes to marijuana related crimes. So I believe that the legalization of even recreational use will also benefit those communities so they can, and it will cut costs in incarcerations and convictions for unfair policing in disproportionate communities. As far as the cons, I believe that addiction is a disease. Studies and research have proven or have made it valid that addiction is a disease. And I believe that making marijuana, recreational marijuana, legal promotes drugs to children, to teens, to adults. Um, they will use it more, develop more addictions, gateway to more drugs, and ultimately raising prices and cost of society in treatment of addiction and mental health issues. I believe that, again, the economy is not severely impacted. So, what is my take on should marijuana be legalized and the recreational use of marijuana be legalized, or should it be made illegal? And my position is neither for nor against. And I'll explain it this way. I am a believer in information and the democratic process. I believe that people should be informed of the pros and the cons of medical and recreational marijuana use, just as they are of alcohol. And I believe that with that information, with that informed mindset, be able to go to a voting booth and make a democratic decision on whether your state wants to legalize marijuana or keep it illegal. I do believe that the focus should be on prevention. All the money should be generated toward prevention, educating society on the dangers of marijuana use, the dangers of recreational marijuana use, also the benefits of it. And then, but morally, for those that it will impact and cause this addiction is in spiral prevention, information, the democratic process, and prevention should be the main focus to get folks to find other routes to deal with anxiety, depression, and things like that as when it pertains to recreational use. And so I believe that each state should have its democratic process to vote whether they want to legalize or keep marijuana illegal. But I do believe that both sides, supporters and detractors, should be heard. That information should be accessible and made available to those, so folks can go into the voting booths and make an informed decision. And so that is my take on it. And I thank you for sticking around and hearing my presentation on should marijuana be made legal. Thank you very much. Again, this is Ken Williams. Have a good evening.